What are the remedies? So number one, of course, is dopamine. Proper dopamine levels help to counteract some of the negative effects that can be associated with Parkinson's disease. We talked about some of the effects that Parkinson's has on the body. With increased dopamine, those effects are lessened. Also, dopamine is a neurotransmitter of pleasure in our brain. So a good feeling can come, or better feeling can come from having a higher level of dopamine in our bloodstream and in the brain. Number two is Botox, or botulinum toxin. Botox can be often used to paralyze muscles that are problematic when it comes to dystonia, or those uncontrolled muscle spasms that can happen in some people with Parkinson's disease. So that's something you can ask your doctor about, particularly your neurologist, if that is an ongoing issue for you. Next is DBS, or deep brain stimulation. Deep brain stimulation literally takes electrodes, electrical impulses, and targets them to the areas of the brain that produce dopamine deep in the midbrain. Deep brain stimulation directly impacts the ability to contract the muscles and to move the way you want to move. So most often, or quite often with DBS, folks that have had dystonia and other issues like that, it can be resolved with adjustment of the DBS. Next on the list is corrective surgery. I don't always like to recommend surgery as a physical therapist. However, there are most definitely cases where surgery is necessary, particularly when it comes to needing something like a total joint replacement, or in the case of pathologic fractures like due to osteoporosis, or other causes, maybe a fall caused a fracture. There are certain repairs that may need to be done. For example, spinal kyphoplasty or vertebroplasty to repair a fracture of a vertebra. Joint replacement, as I mentioned, arthroscopic surgeries. There are multiple types of surgeries that may be necessary to correct pain, especially if it's pain as a secondary relation to Parkinson's. There are other things that can come with aging, such as osteoarthritis, that may have already been there without Parkinson's, but Parkinson's disease certainly could make them more pronounced. Lastly, complementary and alternative remedies could be sought out. For example, especially when it comes to muscle contractions, involuntary muscle contractions, and trying to relax things, looking into things like CBD oil or other forms of cannabis. That's just one example of a complementary or alternative remedy, but there are others: acupuncture, acupressure, chiropractic, things like that. Those are always options, especially when pain is a chronic issue for you as a person with Parkinson's disease. Well, that's all I've got about pain and Parkinson's disease. Just know that there are remedies out there, and sometimes it takes multiple avenues to get relief from pain. Lastly, and one thing that is not on this list that I gave you, but is extremely important, is physical activity and physical exercise, especially exercise that's targeted to Parkinson's disease, because it can directly result in improvements in some of the negative changes that can happen in the body, such as rigidity of the trunk and muscle tightness, joint tightness, and things like that. So, and also stimulating the brain to produce more dopamine. That's something that can happen with exercise, in addition to the medications you're taking for Parkinson's disease. I hope that this video was helpful to you in some way, at least to have the knowledge that it's not all in your head. Parkinson's disease can very well cause pain, and honestly, you may hear from a physician that it doesn't, but don't listen to that, because there is definitely very documented evidence that Parkinson's disease can result in pain, one way or the other.